What's up, gamers? We're back. I'm here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video today, and I'm here to ask another discussion question of all time. Could Fiendsmith, Engraver, and friends beat Gojo? Now, I gotta bring out the big disclaimer. I will be getting some things wrong about both sides, and or some information will be left out, either because I didn't find it relevant to the matchup, or because I think it's stupid. Now, you don't remember, I will be exaggerating and getting wrong things. Do not raise your torches and pitchforks at me because of it. Or do. Go right ahead. It is your choice. I ain't your mom and dad. So, first things first, I need to lay out the ground rules. First and foremost, enemies only. This will contain spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen, meaning if you do not want to be spoiled what happens next, even though the manga is already done, look away. The main two variants of the deck I will be discussing here: Snake Eye, Azamina, Fiendsmith, and Fiendsmith Yubel. And Mr. Engraver will be a participant at this. While both decks will be at full power, this is essentially a 3v1, but as shown in the manga/anime, Gojo can handle that. 2. Gojo is considered just being unsealed. 2.5. Each deck will have a turn. And it will be for the first time for both decks, meaning no deck will get an extra draw. You start with 5 cards. And finally, per time rules, it is a 45-minute match with siding. So, first things first, I gotta discuss the Fiendsmith engine. So, as you know, this is one of the strongest engines ever made by Konami. Very splashable in just about anything to your heart's desire. It's one of the best engines out generally. You could splash this thing in anything, since putting in a fucking V8 in a 99 Honda Civic. Now, this engine is, while it's relying on light fiends, there's no archetype lock. So, because of that, you have easy access to whatever rank 6 of your choosing. Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, to dump whatever card you want into the graveyard. DDD, High King Wave Caesar, say that 10 times fast as they summon the gate. Or you can run my boy Gauntlet Launcher. Exexo fans, I love you all. Second, it's a 1-card combo off one of its spells. Fabled Lyric is a light fiend that summons itself from the graveyard because it was discarded. Or you can use Sanct, and that can start your plays off of there. Or, if you didn't have Fiendsmith, Engraver, or Tract, you could still do Fiendsmith combo, because a certain V-Jump Link 2 that was released in the Infinite Forbidden called Moon of the Closed Heaven. You just need 2 effect monsters, go into Moon of the Closed Heaven, and then link into Fiendsmith Requiem, because it just requires a light fiend. That's it. And then you can get off to the races from there. It's amazing Envor pieces. If you need negation, you can go into a Fiendsmith Disarray. Not only that, but here in the TCG, we got a card called Necroquip Princess, which you can contact Fuse by summoning a Engraver, equip Requiem to it, and then contact Fuse, you get your Necroquip, and Engraver can summon itself because you didn't activate its actual effect from grave. And that's 2 level 6s. From there, you can go sequence, make a Disarray, or you can make a rank 6, whatever you'd like. Not only that, Engraver peaked at like $110 a copy. Just in time for the NEWCQ last year, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's talk about the biggest deck, the strongest deck between the two. Full power, Snake Eye, Azamina, Fiendsmith. Say that one 20 times fast. So, first and foremost, this deck at the current moment of recording is currently terrorizing Master Duel in the Duelist Cup. Yeah, it's not only is it one of the strongest decks in the meta in the entire history of Master Duel. Granted, when Master Duel launched, it was Herald Drytron, Eldritch, Emancipated with Block Dragon, Maxi, all that stuff. This is also very UR taxed, as the deck is around 30-ish UR cards, with including hand traps and such. That is ridiculous. Besides that, while it was short here in TCG, it had everything the modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck yearns for. Multiple 1-card starters, exceptionally high prices to you can play a bunch of non-engine hand traps, things like Ash, Valor, Ogres, Imperms, or you can put in some other non-engines like Board Breakers, Lightning Storms, Ultimate Slayers. Of course, you don't really want to run Ultimate Slayers because you have that extra deck, but you can run stuff like that, of course. And because of this deck, there were 3 different archetypes: Snake Eyes, Azamina, and Fiendsmith. I just discussed the Fiendsmith engine, so you don't have to worry about that. The Azamina stuff is part of the Simple Foils archetype, which by extension is part of the Snake Eyes stuff. I mean, it's all convoluted. The whole Diabell Star stuff is convoluted. Not really, but it is to me. Now, the Asmina stuff provided one thing and one thing only: a negation, Nibiru protection. All you had to get to was Hollow Asmina and Deception of the Sinful Spoils, which provides a Omni Negate for you. 2. Snake Eyes Poplar. It is a custom card. It is everything you want this card for. Summon itself, searches, and it is recursion. Yes, while it says you can target a fire monster in your graveyard, placing the spell in trap zone, it helps the deck because that's the main gimmick. It places stuff in the owner's spells and trap zones, and you can use it to send it off, make a flamberge, do whatever you want from there, do your taxes. You can come back and, well, you can really do whatever you want, really. This deck had, the sky's the limit, even though people have been to the moon. Sky's the limit with this deck, of course. It's very powerful. It was very powerful, and it got even more powerful even before the Asmina Fiendsmith stuff when Bonfire came out. And guess what Bonfire searches? Poplar. Fuck Poplar. Alright, now talk about my baby girl Fiendsmith Yubel. So, it's finally playable after 15 years. We love to see that, right? Phantom Yubel is a custom card for the deck. Yeah, I know. It's just like Poplar. Well, Poplar does everything for the deck. Yubel provides everything else for the deck as well. Spirit of Yubel, not being a once per turn, allowed endless copies of Yubel for link material as long as it was destroyed in some way. If it gets negated, destroyed by battle, you can destroy it off of Nightmare Print that it searches. Unchained Soul of Shavara, of course. Because of the new support from Yubel, it established the Fiend Link deck, which is basically Dragon Link but for Fiends. Capitalized the fact that you can use some other generic Fiends, the Sacred Beast stuff, for example, right? It had coincidental synergies because all the Yubels are Fiends with 0 attack and defense. All the Sacred Beast stuff that supports the actual Sacred Beast are level Fiends with 0 attack and defense. It also had searchable super polymerization. You know how crazy that is to have a deck that just searches super polymerization whenever you'd like. And it also makes one of the best super poly targets in Yubel the Loving Defender Forever. It also had a unique win con that also centered around OG Yubel. As you know, it reflects battle damage back to your opponent, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. Because of Nightmare Pain, you can your opponent will be forced to attack the Yubel. They will attempt to attack. Yubel's effect will inflict damage, and then they take the other damage as well from Nightmare Pain. That's a lot of damage. Now, Mr. Fiendsmith himself. Oh, before I forget, shout out to Yubo for winning the Worlds last year. Now, Mr. Fiendsmith himself. Who needs the other cards, baby? Because Mr. Fiendsmith himself will do it himself. Now, by fusing with Lacrima of the Crimson Tears, they combine to create the strongest Fiendsmith card in the archetype, Fiendsmith Rextremend. I hope I'm saying that right. So, it states that it is unaffected by card effects except Fiendsmith cards while equipped with the Fiendsmith Equip spell. All the links will equip it like a equip spell that gives it either attack with Requiem, sequence makes it untargetable, or Item Day gives it more attack and piercing battle damage. Arguably the worst one. Now, this is basically Devil May Cry, but in card games, but it's not really Devil May Cry. Folks, we're back. Everything went to shit, but we are back. Where was I? All right, Mr. Fiendsmith himself, baby. It's almost like he's not like LeBron. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna compare to LeBron. That's gonna be my next video. Now, as you know, he's basically Devil May Cry, but card games. Not exactly Devil May Cry, but still card games. I mean, look at that. Look at those damn horns, man. He looks sick as shit. Now, let's get on to the second participant of this fight. As you know, it's Satoru Gojo. Complex as he's constantly glazed like a donut from the Krispy Kreme, he's renowned as the strongest sorcerer of the modern era in his generation. He strives to achieve the change in the world through education, making his students become his equals, and foregoing the old ways of how his verse is. Now, as you know, he's the strongest sorcerer in the modern era of his verse. He is a teacher at Tokyo Jujutsu High. He has no hobbies because supposedly he can do almost everything. I don't fucking believe that. He's 6'3", and I don't know about you, but the Lakers need a center. I know they got Luka, but they need a center. Bro, you should not be fucking fighting into teaching Jujutsu, bro. You need to be fucking balling out there with LeBron. All right? You need to be out there with LeBron. He needs the help. And of course, there's thousands of egos simping for this guy for some fucking reason. Alright, let's get on to his stuff. So, Gojo's feats, powers, and all the other things and the bobs. Let's go over his feats, of course. You're seeing this gif, right? He's just completely manhandling Miguel. This is also the average score review combo down below, but of course, we need to explain what cursed energy is. Essentially, it is the product of negative emotions from humans. Sorcerers and cursed users alike use the cursed energy to use the cursed techniques and act as a resource pool for said techniques. Think of it as like ki, but it's not exactly like ki. Think of it as like a sort of a resource bar that they have to use their ability, to use their techniques and such. So, if you don't know, Gojo can teleport and fly at sounding speeds. He kept up with Sukuna, Mahoraga, and the merged beast Agito all at once. This is why this is a 3v1. And can also use his domain expansion at least 5 times due to the amount of cursed energy Gojo possesses. He probably has a really big resource bar that probably goes off the screen if you look at it at the TV. And he's ranked first in the 4th popularity poll. Yeah, he probably also fucks. Who knows, man? Now, I need to explain the two main things about Gojo and how it characterizes him. Limitless and his domain expansion. As you see, Jugo is getting hit by the domain expansion, but I'll get to that in a second. I need to go over Limitless. So, Limitless is an inherited technique from the Gojo family. It is complete absolute control of space through cursed energy at the atomic level, and the manipulation of space resulting in multiple techniques as well. This brings the concept of infinity into reality. Now, essentially, Gojo also has some sort of space around him, an aura, as you youngins say, that allows what can hit him and what cannot. Take it, for example, you take the number 1 and divide it in half over and over and over and over. It's not going to hit 0, but it's slowly reaching 0. That's exactly what the technique is doing, essentially, right? It's just slowing you down perpetually, slowly and slowly and slowly. You're not going to quite hit it, but you're slowly just going towards it. Now, Gojo's domain expansion is called the Unlimited Void. It floods the target with boundless raw information in their mind. Think of it as like you're putting like 80,000 terabytes of the B movie into someone's head 70 times. Think of it like that. You immobilize them because they can feel everything while not being able to feel or see anything at the same time. They're basically paralyzed. It's almost a guaranteed win once the target has been hit by this, but it's shown to have been broken once. You can blame Sukuna's cheating ass for that. Alright. Now, let's go over some techniques. Gojo obviously has these hands, but these hands can produce blue, red, and purple. I know, it's like I'm in a fucking preschool. So blue, it's a byproduct of Limitless. It converts the cursed energy that forces the world to correct itself. It pulls matter towards it, essentially. Think of it like the hand, but a projectile, right? It erases quotation marks. It erases that space, and forces the world to correct itself, bringing things to it, right? Because all matter exists in some shape or form. The maximum cursed energy output blue, basically just a bigger version of blue, but Gojo can just control it, right? Red is the opposite of it. Instead of pulling in, it pushes things out. So it damages a lot of stuff while going through with that. And purple is a combination of blue and red, because, you know, that's how colors work. And you basically launch a big fuck you to your opponent for massive destruction damage. I'm pretty sure that's purple. I hope that's purple. I looked up Gojo purple, and that's the first thing I got. But That's what that is. And it is very destructive. And it's very fucking scary. I mean, look at him. He's ready to kill you, bro. Now, Gojo, when I listed on here, Gojo also has been able to perform the phenomenon known as the Black Flash, where you strike your opponent with curse energy, like right before the physical hit, like frame perfect doing that, right? Which causes a spatial distortion, crazy, and it amplifies the hit 2.5 times. That's very fucking scary. Now, I need to bring up this. Would he lose? Gojo has been announced as one of the strongest sorcerers in his generation. One of the strongest characters in Shonen. A truly one-of-a-kind character that has shown magnificent feats throughout the manga and anime. Is powerful on his own. He is at that level where it seems unreachable, of course, right? And then you get Sokuna's cheating ass. He still loses to Goku, though. Now, on the other hand, Fiendsmith, Azumina Snake Eyes, and Fiendsmith Yubel have been proven as one of the strongest decks in history. One, at the time of recording this, is currently terrorizing the ladder and Duelist Cup and Master Duel, and had a short stint in the TCG, while the other one won the World Championships. Shout out to Ruben for that. Both decks have multiple one-card combos, has resilient endborns, custom cards for the deck, in Popular and Phantom Yubel respectively, and an endless supply of hand traps. Again, would he lose? Yeah. Fiendsmith Yubel, let's go. Right, can utilize one of the strongest cards ever printed in the game, Super Polymerization, to which neither player can respond to the activation of the card, which is considered Spell Speed 4, and then create either the strongest Super Poly target in Yubel, the Loving Defender Forever, or you could just have Phantom Yubel change the effect of one of Gojo's techniques, because Phantom Yubel does that. Now, Snake Eyes, Azumina Fiendsmith, can play through just about anything, because the deck is so resilient that if you stop one part, the other two parts are going to prosper because of that. And you can still put up decent endboards. And if all else fails, you fall back to all the hand traps that can be played. And finally, I don't think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading cards have cursed energy in them. Like, at all. Real life, of course, because the semantics in the anime are much different. That is some... If you watch the original DM series, there's some bullshit in that. That's different. Right? That is different. Now, conclusion. Mr. Fiendsmith Engraver isn't even mentioned because I think he solos. Sorry, Gojo, but even I'm pretty sure Sukuna was playing both decks. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one while I discuss LeBron.